Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining me from. We're back again with our last session for the day, which is our keynote speaker. This session is going to be taken up by Rohit Srivastwa. He's one of those people whom I feel that he's been in the industry for a very long time, and he's a mentor, coach, and I really, really admire him. But without further ado, let me bring him in, and he's so much to share with us. So let him. Hi, Rohit sir. How are you?
Hey, hi, good evening, everyone.
So, sir, we have our audience here to just share a glimpse of where we are. We have already surpassed 600 registrations for this conference. It's a first.
The virtual
Uh,
one.
Thank you. Yeah, first virtual one, and even first in person for AppSec days as well.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it has been amazing, and the audience has been amazing, very interactive, and I am sure that they have a lot of questions for you as well, and a lot to learn from you.
Hopefully, I'll do the justice for them and they'll enjoy the session. We'll have some good discussions around.
Sure, sir. So the stage is all yours. We can get started with the slides and even the discussions.
Okay. So, practically, I just have jumbled up some 6, 7 slides together to be there as a talking topic, but it's more of a conversation. So, if you have any point or if you have any discussion, please start typing in somewhere on the conversation channels and we will look into it and we'll start talking about that. But yes, I'll present one small screen so that at least some slides and some bullet points are available for everyone to look at and talk about.
Absolutely, sir.
I'll just
While you're sharing, so with for the audience, the topic is all about compliance, or I would say beyond compliance, building a security first culture. This is one topic where people have not talked about a lot, and we want to hear from sir on that. Here you go.
okay. Um, Only one challenge that if this being shared, I can't see anyone else or any conversations happening around. So just give
If
me a
there's any
moment.
question, I'll share it with you, sir.
Perfect. Okay, everyone. So basically, the request was to talk around a topic that okay, is security done for the sake of compliance enough, and can we live with that? Everybody know that no, we can't live with that, and it's not something very new topic that people would say, oh, I'm gonna learn a lot from this, from the topic point of view, from the words point of view, but maybe what you can learn more is from the experience point of view, which we have been doing, and a lot of activity has been happening around in that area. So maybe you can learn a lot from the experience. But yes, the bullet wise, the text wise, the content wise, it's all the same, and you may not find it like, oh, we are going to learn something very very new. So if you're really tired from the day, you can actually say, oh, I can take a skip from here now. But frankly, let's keep it interactive to make it more and more interesting from the point of view that what all can we actually do from building a secure culture in the organization, and how does it actually work out for majority of the people. What we're going through is what is a secure mindset, and how do we actually achieve security by a secure mindset, which is one of the problem which I see is people and the CISOs and the companies are facing right now because of tool override, a fatigue from the tool, a fatigue from the audit, a fatigue from list of action items given to them that you have to do this, you have to do that. From all of those point of view, we are in a fatigue that okay, how do I actually solve it? There is so much happening, too many things around. What is the real stuff? Where do I actually go ahead and get into security? What should I actually be doing? And that's where the conversation right now will matter a lot. That how do we go towards a secure culture? So let's quickly dive into that. So basically, or rather, give me a second. Before moving ahead, I would just share one quick slide about myself, because it might not be a known thing for everyone that who are they listening to or talking to. Okay, there you go. So to introduce, that's me. That's my background in the world of cybersecurity. Currently, I'm running my fourth startup in the cybersecurity domain, which is called as Cast Cyber Venture. It's more of a venture studio than an individual company, so to say, helping a lot of different activities, helping a lot of entrepreneurs as well, supporting them in various cybersecurity and non-cybersecurity related areas. But yes, that's what I do these days, running this company. One of the prime role here, or one of the prime offering out of this, is where we do a lot of virtual CISO consulting for various large enterprises. Most of them are in the range of 6,000, 7,000 people to 70, 80,000 people companies, where we help them out. And some of the experiences which we'll be talking about is coming in from them. Everybody think that, okay, when the company is large, a lot of things would already be in place and people would be in well-structured format, and processes would be in place, tools would be in place. We don't have to worry a lot, which may not be the actual reality. So a few examples will be coming in from there as well. So as I said, fourth one, been doing multiple startup, had my fair deal of success and failures both in the entrepreneurial world. When the last one was sold to Quick Hill in 2016. And after spending my mandatory lock-in period with them, I'm again out and happily doing interesting activities. At least I feel they are interesting activities. And that's where I am. I've been mentoring, advising, and investing in various cybersecurity startups, some non-cybersecurity startups as well. And I still have a role of advisor for a Government of India department in various activities. That's the quick contact information if anybody want to get in touch. That's where you can find me. So let's start the conversation about the whole compliance and the whole security per se. So what we have actually seen is a lot of companies, and this is coming in actually from the top management and top bosses as well. They get into doing security because somebody has asked them. So, till the time the IT guy, or maybe if they have a security guy, till the time this person is crying about and asking that we need to do more security, we need to do more actions, it is still because it is coming from inside. In Hindi, we have a kahavat, "Ghar ki murgi dal barabar." If the turkey is at home, we consider it as good as a piece of bread, nothing more than that. So that's where it is coming in, and we do not get much attention from the management. But the moment it is being asked by a organization, a client, a auditor, a regulator, or even when they hear about these things in industry, suddenly they start feeling that, oh yeah, I need to do security, I need to get some degree, some certification, some placard to be procured, which I can put it on to my front desk and in my presentations, so that the world will think that yes, I am taking security seriously. So there are two things: taking security seriously and showing that you are taking security seriously. So that compliance only attitude, that actually doesn't work, because it's a baseline. People say that, okay, even in enterprise setup, they say, what is the guiding principle? By what principles should we go ahead and start doing security? That's a baseline. That's not a goal. That's not a target. People forget that, and they try to make compliance as their end goal. But remember, The checklist cannot block an attacker. The checklist, the task list are basically for the audits. They are not for the actual protection. An actual protection may require much more than that. An actual protection may also require a holistic picture, a holistic view on top of it, that where are things controlled, how are things being managed, and how are they being run. Hence, it's about a mindset and not about one exam to be cleared. Or a lot of companies which we deal with, which we have seen in industry, they're like, oh, I can't do this because ISO doesn't allow me, or I can't. You cannot have more functionality or feature or more flexibility in working because ISO is not allowing. And that is becoming the mindset, the objective to achieve, not what the real security is. The real security is being missed out by a lot of people. So hence, we will focus more on the human part of the security rather than the tick mark part of the security, the exam to be passed kind of security. Most commonly, we've seen people go ahead for a set of controls to be deployed. May it be the development, may it be. So even if you look at the whole organization from different layers, there are application layer, there is data layer, there is endpoint infrastructure layer, there is governance layer, user layer, and all the layers of an organization. Everybody is looking to quickly grab a control, put it on the tick mark that yes, I have procured this control. The CEO, the MD, the owners are in a way, and rightly so, they're in a mindset that okay, I have done it, I have done the spending, it should be fine, it should be sufficient. The control is in place. The quality of deployment of control is not being discussed in many cases. And beyond that, the completeness of that control and making sure that the humans are not bypassing those controls just for the sake of their ease of use becomes important. And that will happen only once you make it that okay, security is not the responsibility of the security team or IT team. It is a responsibility of everyone in the company. From promoters to peon, everybody is required to have a secure mindset and get the security done at every little activity. May it be as low as going ahead, sharing a content, or even the admin team. One large enterprise, I'll just give you an example. One large enterprise, we were doing some conversations. We were invited into one of the conference room, a big shining conference room, all different gadgets kept there. One of the gadgets was a video conferencing unit. Now, this video conferencing unit had multiple functionality as well, including recording the whole session and sharing it and emailing it. One big placard in the room is holding the username and password of that account, which is used by that particular video conferencing unit. Might be required for a lot of people to use that device and that ID together to send the content back to their own email once the meeting is done, or whatever might be the requirement or use case. The end result is, because security was not in the mindset, it was printed and placard inside the meeting room so that people can come and use it. The difficulty is, once in a while, outsiders are also walking into the room. Passwords are pretty easy to know, as you have seen in most of the cases. This again is a big listed company. The password was company's name in a specific method, and then at 123. To demonstrate it, we just simply tried logging onto that username and password on a non-connected outside device connected on a 5G network. To our surprise, That email ID worked, that password worked. There was nothing much in the inbox. It was pretty empty because people used to clean it out. But due to the lack of the security mindset, the security thought process in the culture itself, what we realized, the inbox is empty, but the sent item is full of stuff. Now, an outsider who has an access or has at least the information, which he doesn't have to type it or take a photo or something, it can be remembered because of the kind of username and password. But this outsider goes home, connects and looks at the sent item and has got access to a lot of company secrets from them. Why are we discussing this story here? Because it is not a role of security team only, the admin team who has configured that, the IT guys who have configured that, the manager who have asked that keep the username and password here, it will be helpful for people to send it out. It's a shared responsibility of everyone out there. And that's only you would be able to achieve a real security because it is in the culture. Anybody looking any password in plain text anywhere, raising an eyebrow, saying it out loud will be the cultural effect. It will never be a control effect. So encourage the ownership. Let people become your first line of defense rather than becoming the weak points itself. If there is a method, if there's a culture in the company where anything wrong observed is reported as a rewarding activity rather than a reprimanding activity, people would like it. People would like to report, and that's how you would achieve a real security. Had it been a person, a junior guy looking at that and saying, "Sir, the password is mentioned here, it is not a good idea." I have heard this statement a lot many times. There were interns who were coming in from the Gen Z world and much smarter on the tech front, at least. Whenever they speak out something, they have been shunned by saying interns are to be seen, not to be heard. Be here, listen to everything, but do not speak out. If that's the culture, do you think that the company would actually go and get security? That becomes a difficult aspect. While building the security now, being a OASP event, I am presuming majority of the people would be from the build part of the tech world, the web application security and the mobile and the APIs and the AI security. We practically are from the world who is busy building things. While you're building anything, baking security is one of the most important aspects, and it has to go into each process. Not only IT, not only development, but into HR, into finance, into operations. Everybody has to have that security culture in them. While creating this application, while creating any of this tech offering, it cannot have the age-old thought or age-old methodology of let's build it, let's ship it, we will secure later. People have to go with the mindset so that okay, it has to be secure from the first principle itself. It has to be secure by design. And how will that come? That will come only if everybody in the team, everybody in the company is a part of the security key. If everybody else is just busy finishing off the task assigned to them and going through the deadlines very soon, making sure the product is shipped out, with that mentality, with that mindset, it will become very difficult. And it has become very difficult. And what we have observed is in reality, people are not in a fundamentally secure manner. They are in the fix it later thought process. That thing has to change. The thought process has to change that, okay, I will fix it. To, I will make it secure. I will make it resilient. The design itself is made in a way that in case something goes wrong, it is gonna affect us less, and we don't have to keep patching and fixing it in future again and again. If we go by our old school methodology, there's a lot of cost which can be incurred. And if you think that, okay, me being a developer, let me just quickly do it, develop it, the security would be the responsibility of the DevSecOps teams or the infra team or the operation team. They can add layer of security, but that adds two difficult aspects from the tech world. One is the latency, second is the cost. The complexity will increase, the cost will increase, the latency will increase, and everybody would be in an unhappy situation through and through. But if you design it from a resilience already in mind, it will bring you to a much, much better position. Then is how can we actually humanize the whole security? Show your employee that how is this particular security mindset or thought process is helping them and their family, not the whole company. Forget the company part. And that has been our method whenever we talk to a lot of companies and boards, that see, once you are doing it, the security learning or security, even as low as the awareness sessions, it is not for the company, it is for you. Once everybody start thinking secure, once everybody start thinking in a better manner, the culture change, it helps the company itself to go on a secure lines. One of the very popular method I do when I have to talk, even in the boardrooms discussions, my favorite boardroom discussions are, well, the boardroom always start with that we have to make the company secure and all, but very soon we end up discussing, oh, my phone, oh, I saw an ad of the thing which I spoke about, I saw this, there's someone is listening to me, or all of those, I categorize them as a B2C problems. We are in the boardroom to discuss the B2B issues, but we see a lot of B2C problem being discussed. And I love that when it happens, because that's when people are taking security on their own. And think of it, when a boardroom discussion is happening about their own security or their kids' security or their family's security, that is the time when we get into more cultural aspect of it. Personally, one of my easiest method is I recommend them my first book, which was meant for B2C security, people's privacy, people's use of device, use of email, use of social media, and all of that. Though that book is pushed out at that point of time, but point is, that's the level when people start talking about, it becomes good for the whole company. Then how do you go ahead and humanizing the whole security? One thing which you have seen, everybody for the sake of compliance, for the sake of tick mark, make sure that they have a security awareness program happening now and then. We have seen those security programs being conducted by companies, and believe me, or you can talk to a lot of people, they feel that it's a burden on them to go attend that security program, may it be an in-person one, may it be a fancy third-party application which has nice, interesting videos, or at least they feel that they are nice and interesting videos, to go through them and run the whole test after that. They're good, but believe me, they're impractical. The awareness will have to hit the brain. To hit the brain, it has to be real world. It cannot be when you get a phishing mail, look at this and do not click on the phishing link. Everybody has heard that already 1,000 times. What matters more is what are the recent issues, what are the recent crimes which are happening. Human mind is a storyteller and a story listener mind. If you have interesting real world stories, talk about them, and then you would see how it immediately hits into their brain and they remember it for a longer. And then, last but not the least, make sure that the secure behavior has gone into the reward mechanism. Reward not being the only objective, the objective is the behavior. Once people start reporting things, do not shun them off that, oh, you're so unaware that you don't even identify that this is a false positive. No. Reward them for say, even if it is just kind words, reward them for opening up, reward them for coming out and reporting those incidents to you. That will help people to get into a much, much better conditions. This all starts at the top level. In all our clients, we make sure that this happens. The champion of the security has to be the CXO level. It has to be, and not when I'm saying CXO, I'm not talking about the CISO and the CIO. It has to come from the founder's desk, it has to come from the CEO's desk, and perceivably, visibly, they should be the champion of security. Either us as an outside virtual CISO or their own security team, everybody else is working for them while they are the champions of security. They are taking things seriously. That visibility of a secure push from the top will push the security culture in the company in a big manner. We make sure whenever we do any kind of a security awareness or security exercise or security, even top leadership exercise on security, the boardroom members must be a part of those exercises. Many times it has come to us as well that, okay, we are busy, can we skip this right now, and can we just do it for the mid-level and lower level management, where we stand out clearly and say, no, this is not possible. It has to be coming in from you and not as a activity. See, whilst you are in an organization, look at everyone. Look around in your organization. The youngest person working in your company is 18 plus, is an adult, is not a kid. And every adult human being works on a logical brain. If you explain them the reason behind every bullet point of your awareness session, of your security policies or activities, you would realize the compliance of those activities are increasing. People are happy to comply to that. People are happy to maintain that because they have understood it's not a burden thrown onto their head. And that's what is needed. And it will come only when the top management is pushing it out that, okay, boys, these are important. What we are doing is for this reason. When we say do not do this, what is the real reason behind it? When we say do this, what is the real reason behind it? And they can use any security team professional to help them out in that. But that's the example setting from the top level, which will be needed. This is more for the management, for them to understand that, okay, how can you make more good use of the security? In many of our cases, what we have seen that security can actually be used as a marketing activity than a tech activity. If you're building a real secure culture, if you're building a real secure product, you are free to flaunt it in front of your clients and potential leads and everyone that how secure your thought process is. For a lot of software development and related industries, I have always pushed their sales team not to deflect the security question, rather showcase your security as one of your USP. The customer today is aware of it. The customer today is looking for a secure product. If you just leave it as a last thought that, okay, after my complete demonstration and functionality of the product, if the customer asks whether your product is secure or not, either I'll say yes or I'll redirect them to my security team, and security team will fill up a questionnaire and send it back. We have seen, recommended, and seen the outcome of that when companies sales, or when the management, when the sales team goes ahead and present the platform or whatever they are building as already a secure stuff. The reception from the other side has been increased. People love to hear about that product, and people, the immediately you are into that situation that, okay, yes, people go, this is a good product and I should actually consider this, because they're already talking about security. I'm not asking them security at the later end. The continuous improvement and the feedback loop are one of the most important aspects in security and humanizing of the security. This improvement and feedback loop has to come from every level, not only from customer, but also from the team, whoever is developing, operating, managing the application, or even managing the organization. Every time you would hear about one or the other security requirement coming in from compliance side. If we digest it in a right manner, with the right mindset that this has come because somewhere in the world has seen an increase in incident of that kind, and if we move toward that direction, we will be in a position to actually secure things better. You would realize that it's easy to bring it out and it's easy to include in your application. But then, one of the most important thing is, let that feedback come in, let that information come in. I'm sure everybody would have seen that recent tweet from today, where people are talking about, I think Elon started saying that Elon Musk has said that the cookie notification bar is an annoying one. A lot of people have stepped back and started thinking that, okay, what is the real value we are getting out of that? If it is just a pop-up box which says we are storing cookie and you have no other option other than clicking OK, then it is not fulfilling a requirement. Is there a feedback from the customer? Can you do it much better? Can you give a real picture that, okay, if you're clicking on the cookies exception, what is happening? If you are accepting the cookie, what will happen? If you do not accept the cookie, what will happen? If you interact with that manner, the customer will like it. And once the customer gives you a feedback that, okay, what's working, what's not working now, then you can improve on your aspect. And that continuous improvement would be required. It's not like it's done, created, got some outsider experts who gave a few sessions on building security culture, 2-3 new tools procured, 2-3 new processes established, and yes, we are done. Our security culture is built. The feedback is required even on the cultural front, and those improvements have to come in with time. Moving over, we have already discussed about this, where the team member, the individuals who are working, they are empowered with the knowledge and they're not doing a fear-based training. If you do not do this training, you will not be able to do it, and you will create a vulnerable app. If your number of bug count is high, it is going to affect your job or the appraisals and stuff. No, that's not the number. Instead, a more open mindset will help out. Once everybody is a part of the security mission, everybody is part of a mission, right? They're building an application. Why they're building an application? For a problem to be solved. Why the whole company is working together? Because Once we create a good, stable app, once it goes out, there would be users for that, people would be happy, people would be using it, it's solving some of their problem, and ultimately bringing in the real crux of the matter, money inside the company. Once the money comes in company, the money goes in people's salary, the money goes in all the expenses. It is as simple as that. So if the mission is already to create a good application, why not add security at that first principle level itself? Everybody becomes a part of the security mission. That will help the employee to produce the good outcome, produce a secure outcome, and actually it will become a cost saver. Because the more you do security on the right side of the timeline, the more you pay for it. Everybody talks about shift left mindset, shift left in security. What is that? Bringing it down to the beginning of the timeline itself. The measurement of culture, that's something very important, because one thing which we have observed, ultimately everybody from small to large organization believe in one thing, that things are getting measured, that means things are happening, otherwise it's difficult to track what's happening, what's not. Completely with them, I agree, but measure the right thing. I'll urge you guys, look at a concept called as the Cobra effect. What is Cobra effect? Long ago, during the colonial times, there were a lot of cobras out there in Delhi area in India. The overlords at that point of time created a program that if people will bring in cobras, if they catch them and bring it to us, we will reward. Very soon, people realized that bringing in cobra is the reward. The measurement shifted from how secure the whole area is because of less cobra, because most of the cobras are getting caught and brought into the control. Everybody was focused how much cobra were captured and how much money they made. As you can guess, what would have happened after that? People started breeding cobras to get more reward. Go ahead, search for the cobra effect on Wikipedia and other places. You will realize the impact of the story. This thought process is there in a lot of things. If you are measuring the wrong thing, you will get a wrong outcome. Think of it when they realized that, okay, people have been cheating the whole measurement methodology and breeding the cobra, where the whole situation went. All the cobra which were bred were not killed, they were let go because they were not getting rewarded for them. And because they were let go, the initial problem of cobra in the area actually shooted multifold up. What are you measuring? You have to identify, are you measuring the number of policies, or you are measuring that what is the overall effectiveness of my security? Running the authentic simulations, not just tabletop discussions or exercises. People say, oh, disaster recovery should be tested. We were brought in by a very, very large company, internet-based company. The whole architecture was divided into so many microservices and aspects that one server rack going down would not affect the end customer application. That was the resilience they kind of brought in. And they were all gung-ho about it, shouting from the top of the voice that we bring security at that level, or our resilience at that level. How do you know? Oh, we have done this DR test, we have done that DR test. We were brought in to do the DR test. My partner just did one thing. Flipped off the power input to the server rack. Suddenly, sweat was going down the spine for a lot of people. Everybody quickly jumped onto their phone, looked at the application. kept checking whether the application is working or not. It was working. But that's an authentic simulation. That's not somewhere saying, oh, yeah, I know, but let me not affect this and let me try a overall test. When you're doing a simulation, have the courage to have a simulation of that kind. That's where the actual measurement is happening. And once it is bringing in a change, once you are seeing the positive effect, celebrate it. That's more of the important aspect. That's what all I had for the conversation today. Uh, some quick discussion points were there. I'm open for open conversation with you guys if you have any questions or any pointers or anything which you would like to discuss on that.
Sir, I do have a question, and especially it's
Please go ahead.
around AI. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh,
Go ahead.
yeah. So now we are all talking about compliance and whatnot, but then AI is being added to almost everything. And this AI and machine learning, there's so much around it. So how can we build and reinforce a security first culture around AI and machine learning or LLM?
The very first reaction which a lot of people gave was, can I block the AI in my environment? A lot of people went jumping on that one solution that, okay, let me just block ChatGPT, let me block Claude, let me block all the AI engines from my environment. That's a paradigm shift which is coming in. You cannot block it and go ahead. Then what you can do? You can learn about it, you can know the risk from there. And once you understand the risk, and for that, everybody has to go into learning mode. In fact, the best part is use the AI itself to understand it in a much better manner that, okay, what is the risk AI itself is bringing and how can we move ahead with the security? A lot of places, see, I'm not really talking about the attack vectors getting created with the use of AI. Yes, there will be a lot of them. The security professionals will have good time in the field to learn and protect applications around that. But even when it comes to the application building and all, where people had a very good culture of building secure applications from bottom up, what we realized, it was easier for them to embrace the AI bandwagon, use the AI, and still go with a secure manner. Some of the thing in the beginning would be challenging. Suddenly, the privacy issue will come in. Suddenly, the ethical issue around AI will come in. I completely agree with that. But this is an inevitable thing coming in front of us. You cannot just avoid it. So if you can't avoid it, the best method is go ahead and start utilizing it. And that would be my one strong for everyone. If you are looking at the AI across everywhere, understand it, the way it is going to operate, and the way you can embrace it rather than shying away from it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Uh, I don't think so. We have any further questions at the moment, but there are people who want to reach out to connect with you, and they will connect with you on LinkedIn and Twitter for sure. And we're really glad that you could
I've given
spend.
out my contact information as the last part of the slide. So people who want to connect, feel free to connect. Be happy to have.
Great. Thank you so much, sir, for being part of the conference and share your wonderful insight. We are honored to have you here.
Thanks, Vandana.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We'll see you tomorrow again at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Have a good day ahead.